I'm Curtis Yamauchi.
And I'm Josh Edberg.
We're here to introduce Metcal's first adjustable soldering system, the GT series.
Metcal recently introduced the brand new GT90 and GT120 soldering stations. These adjustable soldering systems are meant for the production floor as well as single iron applications. They offer best-in-class performance due to our proprietary technology as well as our expertise in inductive heating tied with adjustable temperature. This means that your operators will realize a faster time to temperature, a more stable temperature during the soldering process, and the fastest recovery time on the market. This in turn means that you will have higher throughput as well as better quality solder joints when it comes to the overall applications. With that, Curtis is going to tell us a little bit more about some of the features and benefits of the product.
Okay. Well, as you can see, the GT90 and the GT120 have a very compact footprint.
I did notice that. In fact, the footprint of this product is a lot smaller than even the MX and the CV products that we've had in the past. Why is that?
Well, during the design phase, it was determined that the power supply can be removed from the inside of the unit, allowing us with this really small design.
And that means a compact unit with a very small footprint for your bench. In addition to that, while talking with our customers to invent this product, we actually realized and learned that one of the main reasons that soldering stations get returned across all portfolios is the fact that eventually the power supply will die. By taking the power supply out of the unit and making it a replaceable piece, this now means that we can improve your uptime and lower your downtime when there's a failure. What else is exciting about the product?
Well, the GT90, the one in front of me, is typically used for lower thermal demand applications. So using a replaceable tip or an ultrafine cartridge allows you to really dial in for those small type applications.
The GT120 has a more standard handpiece and also utilizes both low-cost tips as well as the higher thermal demand cartridges. In case we hadn't mentioned it earlier, the GT90 is a 90-watt power supply or 90-watt system, and the GT120 is a 120-watt system. Because of the performance of those products, the 90-watt system is meant to be used in anywhere where you would utilize a competitive system from about 75 watts all the way up to about 130 watts. The GT120 is an extremely exciting product because with that 120-watt power supply, it's actually able to perform and outperform products anywhere from 130 watts all the way up to the 250-watt high thermal demand products that you might see on the market that can cost as much as 3 times as this product. What other things are exciting about the product?
Well, as you can see on the rear here, we have a USB port.
I have noticed that. That USB port is utilized to be able to handle such things as software upgrades, which is pretty easy to do, and Curtis can tell us a little bit more about that.
Right. So just for a simple firmware update, all you need is a memory stick and about 10 to 15 seconds of your time.
In addition to that, one of the things that we get asked all the time, especially from operators, is can we utilize that USB port to power other peripherals? And very specifically, they ask us about their cell phones. The answer to the question is we finally have listened, and this system does have a powered USB port. That port can handle a cell phone, but much more exciting is the fact that it can be utilized to save on outlet space, which is at a premium on your bench. And it can be utilized to power anything from a fan for doing fume extraction to an additional LED light or even a magnifier or video for the system itself. What other things are going on with this product?
Well, we've put a lot of time into the user interface, and we believe that it's so simple that you don't even need a user manual.
Curtis is correct. One of the things that we really did want to focus on when we did this product was making sure that setting up this product and utilizing this product is extremely easy. So easy, in fact, that as Curtis mentioned, that it does not need a manual to set up or to utilize. That said, it does come with one in case you want to use it. What else about the user interface is tied towards how the product is used?
Well, as we research into the needs of the customer, we realized that we needed multiple languages.
That's absolutely the case. This product whether it's used here in the US where we're headquartered, or in Europe, or in Asia. We wanted to make sure that the language capabilities of this product were there to be able to handle any of our customers' needs and any of your operators' needs. That said, when it comes to the operators and us having our first adjustable temperature system, one of the things that we currently and often hear is that we wanted to have Metcal have an adjustable temperature system. And that's really because of a couple things. One is that there is this need to be able to utilize a single tip and save on inventory costs to handle multiple temperature applications. In addition to that, we know that there are applications where low temperature is needed for heat-sensitive components. And last but not least was the fact that customers want to be able to utilize the ability to change the temperature based on their application. All of that said, one of the things that we did hear often from you was that though you wanted to be able to change the temperature, it was important that the operator is not necessarily able to do that. And Curtis is going to tell us a little bit about what this product has in order to make sure that we're able to meet those needs.
Right, so another key element is that we have a password protection for administrative control. And we believe that's important for customers that are really concerned about quality, process control. So we have a 4-pin password that can be implemented to control the settings themselves as well as the operational temperature set points.
So oftentimes though, Curtis, the operator has the need to be able to solder at multiple pieces. Does that mean that we have to give them the password for them to be able to move from one solder joint to the next?
Well, in the temperature settings, you can have up to 3 presets. 1, 2, or 3 presets that a user can toggle through, as well as, for example, advanced operators, you may even give them a range to go through.
So at the end of the day, the product has the ability to set up to 3 presets for your operators to work through.
Right.
And then for those advanced operators that may have a more tricky application, there's a range setting so that you can give them parameters in which to work through, which is exactly what we had heard you guys needed. Outside of this, is there anything else that we wanted to talk about before you get into showing us how the user interface works?
No, let's just jump right into it.
That sounds great.
Okay.
Go ahead, Curtis.
We have a menu button, we have an up and down selector, as well as a return button. Now looking at the main screen, we have the active temperature, a power percentage and power bar. We see that it's a GT120 model, and the HCT6 is a heater cartridge, or if it's a tip cartridge in there, it'll show the tip cartridge model number. And finally, you see it as unlocked. Now, when it's unlocked, the menu is active.
Curtis, when it's in that unlock menu, or in that unlock position, am I also then able to change the temperature?
Absolutely. You have 100% control in all the setting menus.
Great.
All right, so let's look at temperature. Now, the first thing you'll notice is that you can select either Celsius or Fahrenheit, depending on what you prefer. Also, we have the range and the various presets, 1, 2, and 3. So keep in mind that you can either be in range mode or preset mode. You cannot be in both modes. So let's look at the range mode. So I'm going to verify to have it enabled or disabled.
And how do I go about changing that?
Well, you can press the up or down buttons to either go off or on, either up arrow or down arrow. So let's turn it on. Now you see it's at the minimum temperature. Let's drop it to 250. Okay, I'm gonna hit the return. See the max at 400. Let's go to 4. Let's actually drop it down to 395. All right. So we just enabled the range 250 to 395. Now, in the case that we want to use the presets, let's go down to preset. Preset 1. I'm going to change it to enable on. We're going to drop this to, let's say, 380. Enter. And the first thing you will notice is that the range was turned off and the preset is on. So the on automatically turns the range off.
Now, Curtis, since we haven't set the password yet for this system, will any of these be enabled?
No, so unless you have the administrative password enabled, you will not be able to lock in any of the presets. You'll be defaulted into the range mode.
Great.
All right. So now let's just back out here to the main menu. We're going to go now to the system. So the system, we have language, admin password, brightness, and offset. So let's look at the languages. I'm going to go to Spanish now. So let's go to Spanish. Press enter. And now, if you have operators that speak Spanish exclusively, you can select Spanish and navigate through any of the menu settings in the Spanish language. But since English is my native language, let's go select Ingles. All right, so we're back in English. The admin password, we're going to skip that for now. I'm going to show you the brightness. Okay, 0 to 100. Default is 100, so let's just drop it to 80. It's a little bit too bright for me. Press enter. All right, and offset. So offset is a mode where if you have a factory external probe that you want to dial in your temperature to, you have the ability to either go up or down to compensate for any discrepancies that you may see with the externally calibrated probe.
So Curtis, my understanding is with the system, we are guaranteeing that the system, or that our tips and cartridges are within plus or minus 15%, so that they don't need to be calibrated. But if for some reason our operators or an auditor wanted to be able to tighten that offset or tighten that range, you're basically saying that we can utilize the offset to do that.
Correct. The units are factory calibrated, and so this just gives you a unique opportunity to really dial in those temperatures that you want.
Okay, so let's go ahead and set up the password and take a look at how this new setup looks like.
Sure. The password I want to use, let's go with 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so the password is now set on this unit. I'm going to now back it out one more menu setting and change it now to the energy management, where you have the standby timer and the standby temperature.
And what does that energy management mean?
Right. So the handpieces have a motion sensor in it. So in the case that it is not being utilized, the tip temperature can be reduced, as well as power to the handpiece to be cut off under the sleep timer. So let's just run through the different menus here. So right now it's 120 seconds, and the 120 seconds starts when the unit is not in motion. Let's bring it to 180.
Now, does that mean that when it's in the cradle, or is that if it's even left on the table and not in motion?
So the answer is yes, either in the cradle or if it's just laying on the bench. If the motion sensor is not activated, it will start the timer. Let's go to the temperature. I want to drop it less than 200. Excuse me, can't do that. You got to go to 200 is your floor, so let's go to 215. That's set. And your sleep timer now, 10 minutes.
What does that sleep timer mean?
So once the standby timer is initiated, the sleep, or is actually in that sleep standby mode, the sleep timer starts, and after 15 minutes with the reduced temperature, the unit will cut power to the handpiece.
Great.
It's a very important safety feature. So it's 15 minutes now. So I'm going to back it out again, back it out, go to the main screen, and now you can see that the unit is locked. It shows that it's at 380 C. All right. I'm going to try to go up and down. Oh, nothing works. Why? Is because it's in a locked mode. We have one preset active, And let's say I want to go into the menu. Unless you have the administrative password, this is the only screen you can get to. And really, that's the basic setup.
So Curtis, if I did have, as we mentioned, an operator that I wanted to be able to solder at multiple temperatures, how would I activate that second preset?
All right, so let's go into the menu again. You ask for the password. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, now it's in the unlock mode, meaning that you have access to the menu. Let's go to the temperature. All right, you can see that the preset 1 is active. Now let's make preset 2 active. Turn it enabled. Okay, enter again. You can see on preset 1, on preset 2. We're gonna back it out. Main screen shows you we're at 350. Now you're probably wondering, how do we scroll through to the next preset, either up or down button. You can see the top left, it's at 380. I'm gonna press it again. We're at 350. So that's the way to toggle through the presets.
Thank you, Curtis. That really showed everybody how intuitive and user-friendly the system is.
And now let's demonstrate the performance of the GT120. In this setup, we have a standard 10 load pad. In each pad, we have a lot of solder. You can see that it's at room temperature. And really, this is to demonstrate a heavy load application. The handpiece we're using is a standard handpiece with a 4mm chisel. The key thing in this setup is that you can see it's a replaceable tip. The temperature we have, set point at 750. And now let's refill some pads. All right, let's go. See, it's reflowing really quickly. Next one.
And Curtis, this is a great example of how fast we were able to get to time to temperature, as well as how quickly the system heats back up as it goes from heavy joint to heavy joint, something that it's extremely difficult for many soldering systems that this product competes with.
Correct. And we also have done competitive testing to show head-to-head performance against some of the top competitors out there.
Yeah, it's been pretty impressive actually when we looked at some of the different competitors versus this product. This product tends to be about 33% faster when you're looking at a head-to-head competition against most of the products in its class.
Correct. And you can see how fast it goes. And this, remember, is with a tip, replaceable tip, not a cartridge.
That was really impressive.
Yes, the GT system really outperforms anything in its class.
Thanks for taking the time to sit with us today and learn a little bit more about Metcal's new soldering stations, the GT series. For more information, visit us at metcal.com.
Or contact your local sales representative.
Thank you.
Thank you.